Hello everyone, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Tropical Depression 7 that just formed, formerly known as Invest 95L, and it is tracking towards the Caribbean and the US right behind Fred. Before I get started, however, be sure to like and subscribe because those are the little things that you guys can do to help my channel grow, and I really would appreciate it. So we're going to get started here. Tropical Depression 7 that has just formed. So Fred is sitting in this area near Cuba right now, and we have another tropical depression that just formed. It was Invest 95L, then it became potential tropical cyclone 7, and now recently it just became a tropical depression 7. So when it became a potential tropical cyclone, we got a cone just like any other tropical system, but it did get upgraded to a depression. All right, and winds of 35 miles an hour, gusting to 45. It is moving west at 22 miles an hour, so this is almost like sort of an Elsa kind of storm. And I could tell you from Elsa that when storms move fast like that, they're not going to get as much opportunity to strengthen because this is moving very fast. So we're going to go over the cone and also some alerts that have been posted. So pretty much the entire of Puerto Rico and the northern parts of the Lesser Antilles. So not quite Guadalupe, but north there. So St. John's, Plymouth, Basseterre over there. All right, so you guys are all under tropical storm watches, not warnings yet. Just watches. And we'll look at the probability of tropical storm force winds in a little bit. But let's take a look at the cone. So according to this, by 2 a.m. it could be a tropical storm. But notice, winds don't strengthen all that fast because the storm is moving fast. So 45 mile an hour storm with gusts to 60. This is by 2 a.m. on the 15th. According to the National Hurricane Center, it could become a 50 mile an hour tropical storm before it's predicted landfall with Puerto Rico. That could mess it up a little bit, but they keep it at 50. But then once across Dominican Republic, 45, 40, and then back up to 45 once it gets back over the water here. Now, is it still possible for the storm to make a northerly track? I think it is, because it's pretty much got up until this point right here, I would say. So probably up until the 15th or the 16th of August. And it could still go north. I mean, the high could weaken really at any point. So it could turn north. But the fact that it's, as of right now, from what I'm looking at, the fact that it's moving due west, the fact that it's moving that speed at 22 miles an hour, makes me think it's going to stay south. So the northern track of this cone will bring it like this, so potentially towards the east coast of Florida. And the southern part of the cone, remember, the cone is where the center could go. This bottom cone is pretty much same thing as what Elsa tracked. So on that southern portion cone. So this track right here would be the same pretty much as Elsa. So we'll see where we stand with that as we keep going forward. Probability of tropical storm force winds is about 30 to 40% for the northern islands, as well as parts of eastern Puerto Rico. And yes, even Miami does have a chance right now, but they'll probably go up as the storm gets closer. But yes, so Miami is in and the Keys are in the cone of 2 storms now. I know, it's pretty crazy. So Florida Keys, you guys are really getting it hit hard here. So let's look at some key messages here. So tropical storm conditions are possible for portions of the Leeward Islands late Saturday and early Sunday, and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico therefore on Sunday, and maybe the Dominican Republic in the Monday. So heavy rainfall, flash flooding, urban flooding, mudslide flooding, it's pretty much anything here across Puerto Rico and the rest of the northern Caribbean. The risk of wind and rainfall impacts for Haiti, Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, Cuba, and probably maybe even Florida next week should monitor the progress of this system. So as it looks right now, from a timing standpoint, I would say we'd probably, if it were to go near Florida, we're probably talking about between the 19th and the 21st of August for right now in terms of Florida impacts. And impacts for Miami could start as early as the 18th, which is a Wednesday. So that'd be the afternoon on next Wednesday. Impacts could start. So let's look at the satellite imagery. You can see a really big flare-up of thunderstorms that just occurred. You can even see pinks inside of there. I mean, blacks and grays is bad enough, but I mean, pinks, like that's pretty much the coldest cloud tops you can possibly get on the satellite loop. So under there is a broad rotation. Of course, there's no clear center. Although the thunderstorms here do look like they're rotating for sure. So that's something to watch too. But a really big flare-up of thunderstorms. Already showing some outflow. You can see from the clouds there's some outflow boundaries that are trying to come in. And there has been a little bit of easterly shear, which is also really pushing it, probably help to make it move a little faster. Winds are 35 miles an hour right now, and pressure of 1,010 millibars, which means, well, this is just from earlier, so it is a tropical depression. But that means that this storm is technically speaking stronger than Fred because the pressure is a little bit lower. Both have winds of 35 miles an hour currently right now. Sea surface temperatures. Let's look at the environment that it's in, right? 82-degree waters as it moves through the Caribbean, pretty much where Fred went through. 83, maybe even 84. And if it goes in between Cuba and the Bahamas like Fred, 86, maybe even 87 degree waters. Or 88 even, closer to Florida. So very warm water here, pretty much as it continues to move west and as it gets closer to the northern Caribbean Sea, or maybe it'd be the southwest Atlantic, the southwest or northern Atlantic, and the eastern Gulf. Waters could get pretty warm here. So low placement as of 2 o'clock this afternoon. It has moved since then, but 51 degrees west and 15 degrees north were the coordinates. I think it's around here now. So I think the low did move a little bit to the west, a bit more. Model tracking guidance does agree for the next 2 or 3 days where it could go. But then after that, what happens? Because some models take it north, that would obviously make it pretty strong as long as it would stay close to the U.S. But most have it going over the islands. It's like what are the chances of Elsa interacting with land like this, and then Fred right after, and then would be Grace right after. So 3 in a row that are pretty much going to make, I wouldn't say identical tracks to each other, but very similar tracks from all 3 of these here as it looks right now. GEFS model tracks, you can see one line even becomes pink. And if pressure is between 940 and 950 millibars, you better get out. That's all I'm going to say. But no, that is just one forecast. But again, look at these for the track, not the strength. But just know that the tracks that do take it north do make it stronger than the ones that bring it over the islands because of land interaction and shallower water. Now, the GEPS model tracks, the black line, which is the mean, does bring it into the southeast and even the mid-Atlantic, but a handful of tracks bring it to the Gulf. Most of them bring it off the southeast coast, actually, with this set of models. Honestly, I think if we were to get the next run, I think this would change a little bit because a lot of the other tracks bring it a little bit further south like this. And at the speed it's moving, I mean, it's really hard for it to make a turn. I mean, it could slow down, but it's moving west at 22 miles an hour, which is very fast. I mean, it's booking it. All right, so looking at some intensity guidance here, you can see a good chunk of the models make it at least a tropical storm. Some even do make it a Category 1, 2, one even makes it a Category 3 hurricane. That is certainly a possibility. Let's look at the dry air. So here is Tropical Depression 7 right here. You can see the dry air around Tropical Depression 7. Not that much of it, and it's probably withering away. Look at the dry air from Fred, though. Really not much left from you. Left dry air from Fred. Some cloud cover trying to get itself back together. But here's Tropical Depression 7 right here. You can see the flare-up of thunderstorms right there. And it's shielding itself in the dry air. There's dry air around it, but there's no dry air actually getting to the system. So really nothing affecting it right now. Wind shear, though, however, is a bit of an issue because this is the low. You can see right here. And if it tracks in this direction, it's going to go through similar environment that Fred did between the land interaction and the shear. If it were to go north, it could have an opportunity to strengthen, but there's also shear there. But off the east coast, there's not that much. And same thing with the Gulf of Mexico, not that much there either. So let's look at some of the models and see what our models think between the GFS, Canadian, European, and the HWRF. So we have the 18Z data coming in from the GFS model. All right, so they have it pretty much right on the Leeward Islands here by 2 a.m. on Sunday. So you probably have a little bit, most of tomorrow to prepare. Then it pretty much moves right over Puerto Rico, so San Juan, definitely look out for you guys there. And then it's going to continue to move west over Dominican Republic. Now, they actually have it somehow avoiding the Dominican Republic, which could be a little bit better for it, but yet still, it pretty much tracks into the Gulf, and that's really it. Earlier run of the GFS model had it, and you can look for yourself. I think it was the 6 or 12Z run from today. Had a major hurricane pretty much going right up the Carolinas into the Delmarva. So not sure if that's going to happen, but definitely a change from what we saw earlier today. Canadian model, let's look at the Canadian model here. So there it is. Now, timing wise, Canadian GFS are right on point here. 2 a.m. Sunday, pretty much right on the Leeward Islands. All right. And then continue to move towards the west and northwest, over the Bahamas. All right. So going over the Bahamas, and then maybe on the east coast of Florida. All right. So maybe a Florida landfall, pretty much staying right off the southeast coast here. Now, this is next Saturday, the 21st. And then it kind of gets sort of yoinked up the Carolina coast, and what's left of it is sitting right there. So something could come with the system, especially if it tracks further north. And all depends on the steering currents in the atmosphere. But Canadian definitely does something with Fred too, making it a little stronger before landfall. But as for Tropical Depression 7, Bahamas looks like could be Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning if it were to go there, according to this model, and then the east coast of Florida by Thursday the 19th in the afternoon. Now, the European model doesn't do much with it either. So there's Fred over here, but they bring it north of the Dominican Republic for Tropical Depression 7, so that's good. Then through the Bahamas, and then pretty much slamming right into Florida with not much left of it. All right? And then that's it. It moves up into Florida, and then it just disappears. And for the HWRF, let's take a look at that. So Leeward Islands, early Sunday morning, so GFS Canadian, and pretty much all of our models have said that. So it's a good deal that you guys could be hit by then. Puerto Rico, probably making closest past, if not landfall, by early Monday. So yes, it will take 24 hours to move from just east of the Leeward Islands to Puerto Rico. So could it slow down? Possibly. That could just be the HWRF talking too. But Haiti could make a land interaction with Haiti, so a lot of darker colors around Haiti. But then again, it's going to help tear apart the system a bit more. But it still does trek on south of Cuba as we head through the middle of next week. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the Tropical Depression 7 video. Stay tuned for updates as this could become Tropical Storm Grace pretty soon. I am the Weather Dude signing off. Till next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.